Good afternoon and welcome to Naval Support Activity South Potomac Change of Command, where Captain Michael A. O'Leary and Captain Todd P. Copeland will conduct the formal turnover of command as required by U.S. Navy regulations. The change of command ceremony is a time-honored tradition officially marking the continuity of command. It is a formal ritual conducted before the ensemble crew as well as honored guests and dignitaries. The change of command ceremony is unique in the world today. It is a formal transfer of the total authority, responsibility, and accountability of command from one individual to another. In a few moments, the official party will arrive. Please ensure all cell phones and electronic devices are silenced. And also, as noted earlier, this is a COVID environment, so you are properly spaced. The families can remain together, but if you're in your seats, you are not required to wear a mask. But if you're in transit, going to the head or whatnot out of your seat, please wear a mask. Guests, please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party, playing of the national anthem and the invocation. Captain, U.S. Navy, arriving. South Potomac, arriving. Naval District Washington, arriving. Chaplain Salita will now give the invocation.
Would you bow with me for a moment as I offer a prayer for us today? Great God, the ancients used to say that there is no place where we could go where you are not there. Whether we go to the deepest depths, you are still there. If we go to the highest heights, you are still there. Whether we are navigating the airspace over naval air stations or just driving from Fredericksburg, God, you are there. Lord, if we are navigating budget spreadsheets, COVID spreadsheets, or the laundry sheets of our own homes, God, you are there. And so we take solace in that. And so that as this command continues on, we know that you are there. Even though Captain O'Leary will not be here, God, we know that you are there. And would you please be here with Captain Copeland? Give him your wisdom, give him your patience, give him your insight. We pray this according to your great reputation. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Military participants and guests may be uncovered. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Michael A. O'Leary, Commanding Officer, Naval Support Activity, South Potomac.
All right. Morning, or afternoon, or whatever time it is. It's COVID time. There is no day or night. There's just COVID time. So I'm honored today. Thank you for everyone coming out. It's a much reduced ceremony, and thank you for those who came out to brave it. I'm going to introduce my boss over here, Rear Admiral Carl Lahti, native of Buffalo, New York, graduated of the United States Naval Academy, received a systems engineering degree, holds a master in electrical engineering from the Naval Postgraduate School, and a master's in national security and strategic studies from the Naval War College. Completed multiple submarine force operational assignments on board the USS Stonewall Jackson, USS Miami, USS Dallas, and commanded the USS Nebraska. The Gold Crew, I believe. That's correct. Rear Admiral Lahti held various submarine force assignments, served as CNO Associate Fellow, Division Chief of the Joint Staff. He also served as Commanding Officer of Naval Submarine Base, New London, Chief of Staff at the Naval Installations Command, and Director of OpNav Energy Environment Readiness Division. Currently serves as my boss, the Commandant at Naval District Washington, Admiral Lahti.
So it's customary to shake hands, and but I'm not going to do that right now. So, Mo, thank you for that. Thank you for the introduction. It is always wonderful to be here in South Potomac, and it's great to get a little bit closer outside of D.C. every once in a while to where the actual work happens, as opposed to just fighting for budgets, which is what seems to happen most of the time in D.C. I'd like to send a special welcome to our distinguished guests in attendance, flag and general officers, both active and retired, and our senior executive service guests and commanding officers and commanders. Welcome. And of course, a warm welcome to all of the Navy here in the Dahlgren community and those attending virtually, because I recognize that our numbers are limited based on the current environment. You know, in December of last year, I don't think anybody in the country predicted we'd be here in July. I was expecting Captain O'Leary to retire, and instead of going to a different job in the Navy, and I was expecting to do this outside with a band and about 300 people. And it is completely different. Our lives have been completely changed over the last 4 months. I'm especially proud of everyone that works our installations and all of our mission partners and tenants, that they've been able to execute and carry on the mission in these challenging times that we're in right now. It is a very unique environment in the country with regards to the health pandemic and a number of other things, and we are moving along and keeping the Navy moving forward, which is absolutely wonderful. Welcome to the O'Leary and Copeland family and friends. We're joined by Captain O'Leary's wife Laura and his sons Patrick and Jacob, as well as Captain Copeland's wife Heather, daughter Haley, and son Owen. No one who serves in the cloth of our nation achieves success alone. Our families are our foundation, our support, and our encouragement. They move, change schools, find new friends, usually usually little to say about it. They sacrifice so much in their own way, and it's so awesome to see that such a great family turnout. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today and to help celebrate this special day. I'm particularly excited to be here at Dahlgren since I have a special connection with the base. My office at the Washington Navy Yard is in Building 1. That was built in 1838 and has been the Commandant's office since the early 1800s. And Captain John Dahlgren once had his office there, where mine is, as the commander the Washington Navy Yard during the Civil War. Dahlgren did some amazing things, and what we do at Dahlgren used to be done at the Navy Yard until they didn't like us testing guns by shooting them across the river into another part of Washington, D.C., and we had to move down here. Really the same thing that happened at Indian Head happened at the Navy Yard too, until we blew up too many things at the Navy Yard and we had to move down to Indian Head. Captain O'Leary has had the pleasure of commanding one of the Navy's most vital installations. Command is comprised of two major tenants as research labs in the Navy: Naval Support Facility Dahlgren and Naval Support Facility Indian Head. Dahlgren and Indian Head represent a dynamic and growing naval installations that employ some of the largest concentrations of scientists and engineers in the greater Washington, D.C. area, and engineers and kind of cutting-edge research and development for the Navy. South Potomac supports the largest U.S. workforce dedicated to energetics and explosive ordnance disposal in the Department of Defense. And it's hard to believe when you drive down Indian Head Highway, which ends at the base, that what looks like kind of a sleepy little area is a center of super high-tech research. And until you go on that restricted side and see some of the creepy retired buildings there, you really then start to get an understanding what really goes on. The South Potomac team, under Captain O'Leary's leadership, has provided a wide range of services to its 21 tenant commands, which comprise a joint customer base of over 20,000 people, including Naval Surface Warfare Center Dahlgren Division, Naval Surface Warfare Center Indian Head Explosive Ordnance Disposal Technology Division, Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense, the Marine Corps Chemical, Biological Incident Response Force, Joint Warfare Analysis Center, and many service member families. Captain O'Leary did a marvelous job of ensuring every one of his sailors and civilian personnel were superbly trained and mentally and physically prepared to meet the challenges of South Potomac's rigorous and vital mission. Their success is in no small part due to his experienced leadership as a commanding officer. He set high standards and pushed his staff hard, but it wasn't more than he knew they were capable of and members of the South Potomac team could perform. Mo will be remembered for many things at South Potomac. His tenure as skipper of NSA South Potomac is marked by his ability to lead, ensuring the NSA South Potomac team was trained and prepared for any contingency. Under his leadership, they passed their Force Protection Training and Readiness evaluations on their first look back in February 2020. This command scored the third highest in CNIC, and his diligent work to train and maintain a high level of performance has been tremendous, given the resourcing challenges that we have. In addition to those accomplishments, Captain O'Leary worked diligently as a community leader. He worked on community recreation, renovation, and established enhancements for the entire base population. If you've been to the revitalized recreation center, they basically did that in a shoestring budget, and it's just a phenomenal accomplishment. Mo's hands-on approach was instrumental in leading a military construction project to amplify security and capacity concerns with the Indian Head and Dahlgren. That construction project was vital in order to accomplish the rapidly growing mission of the installation. It's bittersweet for me, and perhaps many of you too, to say fair winds and falling seas to one of our very best this afternoon. Mo, on behalf of the nation and our Navy, thank you for leading the South Potomac team to new heights. Moreover, thank you for who you are and for what you've done to so many. And I apologize for not being able to resource you like you probably wish, which you reminded me about weekly, and like the people that work here probably deserve, which I hear about from their flag officers. But Todd, as you embark upon command, you'll realize the same thing I did when I first got to a base in command. So when you go to command a nuclear submarine, they don't go to sea unless everything works. If it's broken, you stay in port and fix it. It is 100% resourced. My ballistic missile submarine, I could get anything I wanted. I could pry one apart for the ice cream machine. They'd put it in the backseat of an F-14 and fly it across the country for me if that's what I wanted. And then I get to command a base. And so in my turnover period, I kept these wheel books, and I'd write down everything I wanted to get fixed. And so I had 2 of these notebooks full of stuff I wanted to go get fixed. And then as I'm sitting down with my public works team, they tell me, well, we can go fix some of that stuff, but you're going to run out of money in about 3 weeks if we start working on this stuff. And then you'll have nothing left for the rest of the year. So here's the stuff we really need to go fix. And here's what you have to do is learn how to prioritize and learn how to be on the quest for resources and understand what it means to want. And what it really means is you have to be creative in the way you do things, and you have to go figure out how to get the job done without functionally enough money to go do it. Over the past several days, I've had an opportunity to spend some time with the Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Energy Installations and Environment, talking about some of these things. I've had about 8 hours with him over the last 3 days, and and he's fairly new in his job, and it's interesting for him to see some of the challenges that we have on the shore, and some of the ways which we could potentially change to get after them. Todd brings an incredibly impressive record of performance of a career that spans both East Coast and West Coast experiences, multiple staff tours, including OpNav, NavCent, NavYur, and the Joint Staff. Most recently, he served as the head of Congressional Affairs for the Director of the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, Rear Admiral Spencer, who is a close friend of mine. Congratulations on receiving what I hope is your first choice for command. I have no doubt that you'll bring great ideas and enthusiasm and continue the tradition of excellence here at NSA South Potomac. We welcome you, Heather, Haley, and Owen to the NSA South Potomac family and Naval District Washington family. Heather, you're about to learn what most families probably learn when he comes home and says, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough police. I can't get the job done. It's really hard. But because you're going to hear that about every day. But that's what we depend on leaders for. It's really that communication way back and forth with the people that have the commands on the base and the installation commander to identify and prioritize what the right services are to deliver those services to keep the mission rolling forward. The mission of your base is the mission of the people who are the tenants on the base. And so you have to go through, meet them all, take that complaint nearly daily, be glad you don't have flag housing, and then figure out what you need to do to get the job done, and then go forward. And you got to come to me and tell me, hey, we're going to not meet mission here because of this reason, and then let me take that up the flagpole, and we'll let the senior people at OpNav make that decision whether we're resourcing or not. Mo, congratulations again on a phenomenal command tour. You have really moved the ball forward here at South Potomac, and I know Todd will continue to move that forward. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here and honoring Captain O'Leary and Captain Copeland and their families today. Well, if you join me, we will stand far enough apart.
Okay.
Guests, please rise. Attention to award.
You got,
Oh, there we go.
there we go.
There, I got it. No, why don't you come right there? I figured out how to do this standing 6 feet apart. So
That measured off exactly. I think we're 6.2.
we're good. Okay, XO.
The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Legion of Merit to Captain Michael A. O'Leary, United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following citation. For exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service as Commanding Officer, Naval Support Activity, South Potomac, from June 2017 to July 2020. Captain O'Leary's visionary leadership enabled unparalleled levels of tenant support and engagement while successfully executing $125 million in construction, utilities, recapitalization, and environmental projects. In charge of Naval Support Facility Indian Head, one of the oldest U.S. Navy bases, he led a $10 million environmental cleanup effort that removed 168 tons of asbestos material, 100 tons of explosive debris and waste, and 25 abandoned pre-World War II railroad cars. With a command that spreads across 2 states and 3 municipalities, he supported more than 40 community events and heavily advocated for traffic pattern changes to alleviate congestion of a base population of more than 13,000 personnel encompassing 21 tenant commands. His innovative strategic guidance was key to the command receiving an above-average score during the Command Assessment Readiness and Training Evaluation, and Naval District Washington's highest score on the final evaluation program inspection. Through extensive tenant and community collaboration, he garnered support for numerous strategic development plans that will provide the foundation for future improvements to installation efficiency, safety, and mission capability. By his dynamic direction, keen judgment, and loyal dedication to duty, Captain O'Leary reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, signed M.M. Jackson, Vice Admiral, U.S. Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Michael O'Leary, Commanding Officer, Naval Support Activity, South Potomac.
All right. Have a seat, please. Thank you. Just clocked in around an hour. No, geez. I can't listen to myself for an hour. So again, good afternoon. My opening joke for this was going to be, welcome to COVID Anonymous. I've been COVID-free for 6 months now. Sorry, couldn't resist. Welcome to Change Command. Thank you all for coming out. Before I get started, I'd like to recognize all the planning, the effort, and the sweat and the tears that went into doing this ceremony. Ceremony this size, a ceremony with 300 to 400 or 500, 600 people requires the same amount of work, regardless of how many people show up. So, can I please get a round of applause for the staff that put all this on for my folks? Thank you. And then, I'll just go around as this is mostly just saying thank you because regardless of what the awards say, I didn't do anything, but it's all good. We'll get there. So, Admiral, thank you for coming. Your leadership, mentoring, and guidance over the last couple of years has been just fantastic, and you have moved mountains improving how Naval District Washington conducts business and supports installations. In my time, my 3 years here, the last 2 years, you have improved from my perspective. The services provided from the region down to me, even though I do complain about resources, and I will do it to the day I leave. Sir, but I don't have enough money, by the way.
And you need a new ECP.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, sir. Well, I'm getting one at Indian Head. We got it tore down. So thank you for that. Further, you allowed all your installation commanders to actually command our installations. That is very much appreciated down at our level. And again, sir, you set, as far as I'm concerned, you set the standard for what I want to emulate going forward. Even though I had intended to retire, when I go into my next job, I'm going to take that same attitude of how do we make things better. And I learned that from you, so thank you, sir. Todd, I'd like to say thank you for getting to know you over the last couple of weeks coming through here. And I'm very happy that you chose South Potomac as your number one. The very strategic missions that we conduct here inside our fence lines are way too important to leave to a less than enthusiastic CO. So I'm very, very thankful you came here. And just a brief glimpse here, I'm happy to take over, and I'm glad you're going to lead our team forward. So thank you. Chaplain Salito, I said it before, but it bears repeating. You're literally the best chaplain I've ever served with. Absolutely, hands down. You build resiliency teams, not just for spiritual resilience, but you also manage to do emotional, physical as well. It's something that it takes great skill and talent and drive, and you certainly care. So thank you for that. Keep up the great work, and thank you for the prayers today. Also, I'd like to recognize some of my guests who braved the pandemic to come here. Kirk and Terry, thank you for coming out. Christy, thank you. Jan and Angelina, where you guys? You guys hiding in the back there? There you are. All right. Hannah, make it? No? That's all right. And then Woody over here, thank you for coming down. And I'm glad it got you out of the Pentagon and off the hill a little early today. So thank you for that. So for those who know, other than Laura and the boys today, I don't have any other family here. But so I really do appreciate my friends coming out. And I'd like to talk about my tenants. Recognize this was a team effort. And some of the folks couldn't make it down today. EXU-1, Explosive Exploitation Unit 1, had to change command today. It's an EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal thing, and a lot of the tenants up there are covering down on that one. But I would like to say thanks to Colonel DJ Riley and Sergeant Major Lazzaroni. Thank you guys for coming down representing Indian Head. And they were from CBRF. They're the guys that go up, protect the Capitol, and do other events, and do technical rescue in a dirty environment, and do a fantastic job. And I think you work quite a bit with my boss in his multiple hats.
We're very happy to have that.
I failed to mention it in his intro, but Admiral Lahti also has an Echelon 2 hat in the defense of the Capitol, Navy Kimono Commander, and Fleet Forces, and there's like 4 or 5 other jobs you have all as the Navy District Washington Commander. So thank you for being that. Down here in Dahlgren, Dave Stoner, there you are, brother. He's from the Center for Surface Combat Systems, CSCS. He's the guy that works over Aegis Training Readiness Center, who couldn't be here today, but he came over and told me so. I'm still going to give him crap when I see him, but that's okay. But Dave actually has about 12 schools worldwide that you have to go and keep cognizance over for Navy Education Training Command, making sure all the sailors who go to the fleet are trained and qualified to operate their weapon systems, at least on the surface side. Casey, there you are over there. Thanks for coming out. Casey's the CO for NSWC Dahlgren Division, the biggest tenant by far on both fence lines. Brings a lot of stuff here. The money I got to do the modicum of the projects here at Dahlgren came from you, so thank you for that money. You know, if you got another $500,000 laying around, give it to Todd. He'll appreciate it. But Dave Zook, there you are. So Dave was the CEO of Aegis Training Awareness Center, and now he's over as the Deputy Director for Navy Surface Mine and Warfare Development Center, Detachment for Integrated Air and Missile Defense. You guys need a shorter title, God. But those are the weapons tactics instructors, the WTIs, the Whitties, or the Top Gun of SWOs, as I like to call them. Again, I've given you crap about this for the whole 3 years, and I'm not going to give it to you today, too. About time you learn from the aviators. Just putting it out there. So, having fun. That's Captain Adam Cheatham from, used to be known as Aegis BMD. Now you're the MDA Sea-Based Weapon Systems. Is it MDA or is it Aegis?
Just sea-based weapons.
Just Sea-Based Weapon System. All right, we'll cut it all the way down there. So thanks for coming out today. Those are the guys that buy the missiles that hit other missiles in midair and protect us from a bunch of other cool stuff. And they spend a lot of time out in Hawaii shooting missiles at stuff. So thanks for being able to come here today and not be in Hawaii. I think Colonel Lane, you here today? Yeah. So he's from our Space Control Det, 18 Space Det 1 here at Dahlgren. They are the folks that track all the things in space to avoid, they say, hey, space station, you may want to, modify your orbit so this thing doesn't hit you, and amongst other things. There's also a Navy element in there that does something unique, only done here at Dahlgren. So I won't talk about that here, but thank you for what you do and keeping the fleet safe. I appreciate all your collaboration, support, and leadership over the last 3 years. The command gig is certainly a team sport, and I was fortunate to have you guys as my teammates, so thank you for that. All right. To the sailors, men and women of South Potomac, our mission is varied as that of our tenants. When I took command, I provided you basic vision and guidance, and you guys far exceeded it. That guidance was simple: make a safe and professional installation. I've gotten crap about my cones, I know. That's all good, but I appreciate that. But we've made a lot of changes here in 3 years. We started with a no-brainer thing that I wanted to change, stopping and honoring our colors. That was the first thing I changed when I got here. Something we weren't doing. And I'm like, why aren't we honoring our country? And every tenant I talked to was like, why aren't we doing that? So we fixed that right away. And I had no pushback at all. It was just one of those simple things that started a ball rolling. And my team did a great job building beyond that and exceeding my expectations. We've improved our buildings, our support services, trained and brought up our security to the next level. We've saved lives, and we've built teams to support sailors and always look for ways to do things better. And before I finish thanking the staff, it wouldn't be normal if I didn't have some form of movie reference, because if anyone has worked with me knows I live vicariously through movies. And watching the movie Meet the Robinsons, I became aware of a Walt Disney quote. It's not actually said, but it's put up on the screen. And I found it very inspirational. And it goes, around here, however, we don't look backwards very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps us leading down new paths. And you all, my staff, the team, you have all truly embodied that spirit. We never accepted the phrase because that's the way we've always done it. So thank you all, and I'll miss working with every one of you as we overcame our challenges to keep us safe and professional. I could go on all day and talk about individually my staff, but I think I talked to all you guys at the farewell, so thank you for everything you've done. Those who don't know, we run child care centers, food service operations, unaccompanied housing, hotels, motels. What else do? We do MWR activities, coffee service. We fix stuff, we break stuff. We have plenty of things in there, and we have our sailors integrated through there, making it all the better. So thank you for all that. I want to highlight again my senior staff. XO Lusk, you're the man. Best XO a guy could have ever asked for, so thank you for that. Master Chief Medina, I said it, and it's true. I had my most favorite Master Chief was Pat McCulloch until I met you and saw what you could do. And you are literally the best Master Chief I have ever met in the United States Navy. I think he's better than your Master Chief. I'm just saying, sure. So they used to work together. It's all good. Just putting it out there. Tom Stanley, where you at? There you are. He's always a guy in the background, but especially here in a very heavy civilian organization, I have about 600 total people who work for us here. And Tom's my senior civilian and really part of my command team, providing me advice and making sure I don't do anything that would get me fired. So thank you for all that. I will point out some of my other staff members real quick. Got public affairs over here. Andy, always behind the scenes. Billy Moyles, best public works officer ever. Marisa Fabi, my N9. superstar. N3 back there, Brian Washburn, right next to the Chief of Police, DJ. Thank you guys. We're Goat Locker right there. 1, 2, 3. Anyone else I'm missing? Who am I? Jaron, where's Jaron? Oh, you're hiding. I'm sorry. Hey, and there's Jaron, the public affairs team. So thank you guys very much. You guys made my job easy. Thank you and it'll be the only thing I truly miss about working here. And I don't, other than complaining for resources. That was my next favorite thing. Getting to my family. My oldest son Aiden couldn't be here today. He's in San Francisco. He's working an internship that's trying to develop space refueling for satellites to go to Mars eventually. His intelligence, energy, and just driven attitude are just something that I've always been inspired by as he heads into his senior year at Texas A&M in aerospace engineering. Patrick, he's heading to be a freshman at Texas A&M as a member of the Corps of Cadets with an NRTC scholarship. Someday you might get to wear wings just like Dad.
Or dolphins.
He is going to be an engineer. I turned down the nuke interview to become an aviator. Just, no offense, sir. Seemed a lot cooler. He's also accepted, and I'm sorry, Woody. Woody's a Longhorn, and so my oldest son's an Aggie, and my second son's going to become an Aggie here, so sorry. Woody's lamented every time he's heard this. Woody and I served together in Japan as COs. Patrick also got accepted in the Fighting Texas Aggie Band, which is the largest military marching band in the world with over 400 men and women. So congratulations on that, Pat. Your passion, kindness, intelligence, and talent, you've always impressed me, son, and really do appreciate it. Jake, he's going to be a junior here at Stafford High School. Incredibly intelligent, quick-witted, and talented as well. In addition to his academic acumen, he continues to excel in music, playing instruments, and singing. And quite frankly, Jake, I'm scared of what you can accomplish in your future of your life because you could do anything you want, brother. And I'm super proud of you. I'm proud and love all three of you. And so I would like to give you the gifts right now. I'll get Since I'm talking about them, I'm going to give the gifts. Yeah, I'm good. We're very heavy. Thank you. All right. I didn't work out today. These are my steps. All right. And I'd like to finish off talking about my sons the way I did when I came in. I've been called a lot of things in my life. Some good, a lot bad. Some of that's actually justified. But the best thing I've ever been called is Dad. And thank you. I'm very proud of you boys and I love you. Finally, on to my wife. You put up with me for almost 25 years as my wife. You've been with me much longer than that. Through good times, bad times, and everything in between, you continue to be my conscience. Your faith, kindness, and perseverance are truly inspiring. Sometimes your perseverance can be maddening, but it's still admirable. You keep me humble. You try to keep me on a straight path. Try to keep me on a straight path. You stayed with me through long and dangerous deployments, massive natural disasters, evacuations, and now a pandemic. Thank you for your support, your unconditional love, and companionship. You're truly more than I deserve, and I love you. And we're off to the next adventure. So. All right. Love you, baby. It's okay. She's my wife. All right. If I left anyone out, I apologize. Not yet. What? I can't read my orders yet?
Of course you can. All right. Mayor Master Medina and Seaman Rodriguez will now present the gift to Captain O'Leary. Mask up, so.
Got a mask up.
Presented by NSA South Potomac. Certificate of Authenticity. This is certified that this national anthem was flown over Naval Support Facility, Dahlgren, Virginia, 8 June. Naval Support Facility, Indian Head, Maryland, 9 June. Stumpneck Annex, 9 June. Naval Research Laboratories, Pomonkey and Blossom Point, Fort Washington, 21 June. Naval Support Facility Pumpkin Neck, 24 June. 4, Michael A. O'Leary, Captain, U.S. Navy, in honor of his faithful service to the United States Navy, signed Commander Robert D. Lusk, XO, South Potomac.
Thanks. Thank you, guys. Wow. I have a lot of fence lines. You guys you had a lot of driving to move that flag around. Thank you.
Off-roading, sir.
There were some flag poles in a lot of places.
Someone just ran around holding it. Awesome. All right. So, can I read my orders now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for permission to read my orders, XO.
Yes, sir. There you go.
This is how it was for 3 years. So, I will now read my orders. To the Chief of Naval Personnel, to Captain Michael A. O'Leary, United States Navy, Pupils Order number 1060. When directed by reporting senior, detached from Naval Support Activity South Potomac and report to the OutNav Digital Transformation Office.
I say nothing, sir. All you.
I will now read my orders.
From Chief of Naval Personnel to Captain Todd P. Copeland, United States Navy, Buford's Order number 0270, TAC 1996. When directed by reporting senior, report to Commanding Officer, Naval Support Activity, South Potomac, for duty as his relief.
Don't come over here where the picture is better.
This is why we have
That's why we have admins.
Ms. Copeland, it's your time. The commanding officer's spouse, Heather Copeland, will now pin the Commander Ashore insignia on Captain Copeland. Forgot about the most important one, sir. I don't have the story. Actually, if you know the story, but I'll let Captain Copeland tell that story. But that was a rock he just handed his son. Ladies and gentlemen, Todd P. Copeland, Commanding Officer, Naval Support Activity, South Potomac.
All right, thank you very much. Admiral, thank you very much for being here and for your kind words. I look forward to working with you. I'm happy I met you. Today's the first day. I completed the training to be commanding officer about an hour and 10 minutes ago. It's been, it really is. They had to cut it off because I had to change clothes and get over here. But I appreciate it and I look forward to working for you, sir. I also want to thank all the tenant commands who've been able to join us here today. Welcome to Captain Stoner, Captain Plew, Colonel Riley, Captain Zook, and Captain Cheatham, as well as Sergeant Major and my Mass Chief back there. Thanks to Jaron, to Billy, and especially to the XO for setting this up. I think right now, you haven't checked out yet, have you?
No. 1600, sir. 15 more minutes, sir. 1600, got it. 1600, ask him.
So in the Navy right now, there's I think only one installation that has P3 guys running the whole thing, and that's this one right now. So XO's a P3 guy, we got EP3 guy with Master Chief, and then me. So should be interesting. Should be interesting. Thanks as well to Chaps. You've got to give us another prayer on the way out, so make it a good one.
No pressure.
No pressure. So when I received the list of potential bases for command, I knew a lot about most of them, and honestly knew nothing about NSA South Potomac besides the fact that it was probably near the Potomac River. So the morning after I got the list, and my wife and I had talked through the 17 bases, I'm driving to work to Ditra, and I said, I'm just going to do it. I turned right on I-95 South and just started driving down here at about 6 o'clock in the morning. After about an hour, I started winding my way through what I found now is the most deserted part of Virginia, but it was absolutely beautiful. I thought I was completely lost, and then I see a sign that says, Naval Base this direction. So I get to the gate, and the sentry there, I'll never forget her, she's like, oh, hi, sir, welcome to the base, you know, checks my ID, like, so friendly. I was like, all right, it's like 6:40 in the morning. Then I drive in, I take a right down Sampson Road, and there's like people walking down the street, they're working out, and they're waving. Like completely off guard, someone else waves at me. Like, this is crazy. And I came from Capitol Hill for 3 years, with Ditra, and then the Pentagon 3 years prior to that, and there's no waving, you know, there's no greeting. You know, people don't make eye contact there. So to have that happen, I was like, this is absolutely crazy. This is like Twilight Zone of like some sort of Mayberry kind of thing. So I kept driving around. I get over to like right next to the Chief's mess, and I pull into that little parking lot there, and I'm like, I gotta call Heather and tell her about this. So I get the phone out, no signal. So that's when I really had it. I'm like, all right, well, there's a lot of waving here, but no one's gonna know about it. So I ended up making my way back to Fort Belvoir. Park, walk in, go at my office, no one waves at me, no one greets me, no one knows that I'm 2 hours late coming to work, which is standard there inside the Beltway. Then I did something, and I called Captain O'Leary, who ended up being an absolute mentor and a friend. I didn't tell him I was just on his base 2 hours ago. And over the next several weeks, we had several conversations just about what it is that happens here, what installation command is all about. And I was excited about the whole, like, hey, you're a small town mayor and it's really cool, but then I started learning about what the tenants do. Everything from what Casey's folks do out there to what the Colonel's folks do up at Indian Head. And I was blown away that it's not just a cool little base, it's nice with cool houses and whatever. There's some absolutely fantastic stuff that goes on here. And I got very excited and energized to actually, you know, be part of this and to hopefully succeed them. So as an English major, we get an opportunity to write some stuff there when you put in your command selection. So I wrote a very compelling statement on why I should be the commanding officer. And I think none of us thought I was actually going to get my first choice, but here I am. I got my first choice, and I'm very, very excited to be here and very honored and humbled. Stick around and going. So we're going to do the family part here. I want to thank my wife, Heather. It's been 21 years, and like I said, this has been a pretty interesting journey. We went from 60 miles away to here, and you would think we went from the other side of the world between 4 ORD mods and selling a house, buying a condo, figuring out where we're going to live. COVID happens. One of the things that was part of every part of turnover with Captain Larry was, and then COVID happened. So I got command, and then COVID happened. And it's been a real challenge. But she's an 8th grade school teacher, which is the most underpaid, underappreciated job that you can have out here, and really a community hero. And so I'm very proud of you. I'm just, it's an honor to be with you, and you make me very happy. Haley, thanks for not getting arrested during Beach Week. And that also made me very proud and very happy. But I'm very proud of you as well, and when I wrote this speech, that I haven't read any of, I said, hey, she's going to Penn State in the fall. And since then, it's she's going to Penn State at some point. So we'll see. She may be the local one living over here in the big house. She may be online. She may be at Penn State. But I'm very proud of everything you've done. Owen, you can just chuck that rock anytime you want. If you haven't seen the movie Hot Rod, Owen and I have watched that movie about 1,000 times together. And I'm very proud of you. Being a military kid, it's tough. And they've been to so many different schools. They've lived in places they don't even remember. Like the coolest places they've ever lived, they had no idea that they lived there, from Hawaii to Italy, Rhode Island, all kinds of places. They remember the Washington, D.C. and Corpus Christi, which are probably not the best ones. But I'm very proud of all of you, and I love you very much. And thanks to my parents, siblings, loved ones, and friends who could not be here today because COVID happened. Hopefully you're all watching this in the comfort of your own homes. Mom, they gave it to me. I'm grateful to all of you for your support. I also want to thank the Goffs, the Gruhas, the Persons, and the McHales, who would only watch this video if I name dropped them, so I did. For the South Potomac staff and the tenant commands, my priorities are very basic. We'll continue what Skipper O'Leary started, and we're going to focus on safety and security. I am in support of everything that you guys are doing. I am a supporting commander to what you're doing, and I'm here to continue what he's done and make sure that you are able to accomplish your mission and continue to make our Navy the best. We don't have any money, but what we lack in money and resources, we're going to make up for with diligence, ingenuity, and hard work. As someone with a congressional background, I will continue to lobby for money. We need a little bit more. But we're gonna do what we can with what we have, and really we are really here to support you as the tenant. And that will be my commitment to you. For the communities and the surrounding people here outside the fence lines, I know most of you can't be here, but maybe you're gonna watch it here. These bases, these installations aren't just part a place inside the community, but they're really part of the community, and I continue to. I'm gonna make that a priority to continue those relationships. I was going to come out and see a lot of people in the community, but then COVID happened, so we'll get out there eventually. Fair winds, following seas to Skipper O'Leary. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Master Chief, you've got a couple more minutes, but best of luck to you in Bahrain as well. All instructions and policies remain in place until further notice. Thank you very much. Beat Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction offered by Chaplain Civito.
Receive now the benediction. O'Leary family, Copeland family, South Potomac staff, and tenant commands, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. May he give you his presence even when he doesn't give you cell signal. May he give you something to talk about because of COVID. May he give you opportunities to love and show kindness around others because of COVID. May he give you extra strength and extra grace and extra calling because of COVID. And may he give you a story to tell in the years to come of your time here on Dahlgren, on Indian Head, in this place, because of him, because of all you see. Amen.